He called himself the effective altruist. The crypto world called him the next Warren Buffett, but by the end, he wasn't a genius, he was a fraud, and billions just vanished. This is the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, the curly-haired golden boy of crypto who built a multi-billion-dollar empire on lies, leverage, and illusion, and when the illusion shattered, it took down politicians, celebrities, and ordinary people with it. He was the poster boy of crypto, the billionaire in shorts, a disheveled genius with wild hair and wild dreams, and a lie big enough to swallow billions.
Theory, a goal of mine, to figure out how I can have positive impact on the world. And I got involved in the EA community in college, and it's been a really big part of how I've decided what to do with my life. Get more powerful, and it has the power to change the world for better or for worse. And it's gonna happen. We're not gonna not build AI, and that we are having the hard conversations about what role it should be. I think I give a shit about my legacy. That's not what matters. Like, I think what matters is what impact I have on the world in the end. It doesn't matter if I make the world better or if someone else does it. Better is better, and if I can do anything to help other people help the world, that's just as good. So it's obviously sort of part of me would love my legacy to be generically positive, but I just don't think that's what matters. In the end, it's the mark that we actually leave on the world, not the mark we're perceived to leave on the world, that matters. Hey guys, good news. Bunch of 25-year-olds. We don't really know what a Bitcoin is, but we're trading it. Also, this is all crypto. We got a startup together. None of us has run a company before, and we'd like $100 million by next Tuesday, ideally. Data is buying and selling. Like, it's trading for its own book and, trying to do profitable trades. FTX, you can think of it as infrastructure. It's markets infrastructure, so everything that sits between a buyer and a seller. So FTX doesn't buy and sell itself, but it's a venue where people can go to trade crypto. The nine colleagues and I bought a large apartment together near our office that we live in. I'm sort of really fortunate to be able to have a really comfortable life and not have to worry ever about, money for myself, but I'm not particularly excited to dive into luxury. I'm not excited about yachts. And I both think it's not what I should do with my money. I think I should be thinking about how I can help the world.
Sam Bankman-Fried said he was trying to save the world, instead. He burned it to the ground, what started as a crypto empire built on code and arbitrage. Unraveled into one of the biggest financial frauds since Enron. Politicians backed him, celebrities vouched for him, mainstream media worshipped him, and while they praised the so-called king of crypto, he was funneling customer cash into a black hole. This isn't just the story of a failed exchange, it's the story of a system that looked the other way, and a man who played Messiah, but lived like a con. You're watching The Ledger, where the money trail never lies, and where every grift, every betrayal, and every power play gets counted. Stay locked in, because we're about to open the books on Sam Bankman-Fried, and what really went down behind the scenes at FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried was born in 1992 to two Stanford law professors. He grew up surrounded by privilege and philosophy, reading moral treatises before he could ride a bike. At MIT, he studied physics. But it wasn't science he was after, it was edge. Arbitrage. Leverage. In 2017, Sam landed at Jane Street Capital, a high-frequency trading firm. There, he learned the game, speed, spread, and scale, but then, he saw something no one else did, a broken system in crypto, a price difference between Bitcoin in the US and Japan. He started jumping the gap. Buying low, selling high. $20 million in profits, in a few months. That's when he founded Alameda Research, his crypto trading firm, and shortly after, he launched FTX, the exchange that would make him a billionaire before 30. FTX exploded, backed by blue-chip investors and hyped by celebrities. It became the second largest crypto exchange in the world, millions of users. Billions in daily volume. Sam was everywhere, on Capitol Hill, on podcasts, on stage with Tony Blair and Bill Clinton. He called it effective altruism. We call it a front, Behind the scenes, Sam was playing God with customer funds.
I am no cryptocurrency expert, I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I was asking, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
Bankman-Fried and his co-conspirators stole billions of dollars from FTX customers. He used that money for his personal benefit, including to make personal investments and to cover expenses and debts of his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
FTX wasn't just an exchange. It was a piggy bank for Alameda. He funneled billions in user deposits to prop up his own hedge fund, make risky bets, and buy influence. $70 million in political donations, real estate in the Bahamas, private jets, luxury condos, and Super Bowl commercials, all funded by users who thought their money was safe. It all came crashing down in November 2022. One article revealed the truth. Alameda's books were a house of cards built on air. The market panicked. Binance, the rival exchange, said it would sell off $500 million worth of FTT tokens. The
bankruptcy process.
A liquidity shortfall of around $8 billion.
I cannot imagine a scenario where $8 billion just disappears.
Crypto industry's been cut to ribbons this year.
Sam tweeted, "At some point I might have more to say about a particular sparring partner, so to speak, but you know, glass houses. So for now, all I say is, well played, you won." Can you respond to that?
I think only a psychopath can write that tweet.
So basically within this...
Just start on the news of the day and the departure of Brett Harrison. What exactly is going on? How long has this been in the works, and where does it leave FTX US?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the kind of thing that, would go public were it not to have been, in the works for a little while.
Binance CEO Changpeng CZ Zhao, a sizable owner of the FTT token, saying his exchange would begin liquidating any remaining FTT it had held on its books.
To buy rival FTX.com. Glenn Goodman, eToro crypto consultant, joins us now to walk us through this. Glenn, I just want to make sure that I've got my head around this correctly. We see Binance selling FTX's tokens after a report last week questioning the credibility of the business. That then causes a liquidity story, which is then resolved by Binance stepping in and buying FTX.com. Have I got that straight? And if so, this feels like the Wild West.
Yeah, you pretty much got that right. And it could be either a masterful chess move, like one of the best business chess moves I've ever seen by Changpeng Zhao, the boss of Binance, or he just got himself into this position kind of by accident and then is now benefiting from it.
Things really took a turn for FTX after a deal to sell the exchange to its top rival went south.
Sam Bankman-Fried again pounding the pavement, asking for money to keep FTX afloat after Binance called off the deal to buy it. Only this time, everyone has a much better sense of just how bad things are.
I sat down with Binance's chief strategy officer here in Chicago. He essentially said he was shocked at what they saw when they went through FTX's numbers.
Bankman-Fried told investors that the company is facing a liquidity shortfall of around $8 billion.
The cryptocurrency world is reeling after the meltdown of one of its most popular trading platforms. The exchange, FTX, filed for bankruptcy protection today as fallen crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried stepped down as CEO.
From a $32 billion company to bankruptcy in the matter of just 4 days or so. This bankruptcy filing includes Bankman-Fried's quant trading firm Alameda Research and 134 affiliated companies all over the world. You've got places like Nigeria and Uganda, South Africa.
Price tanked. Users rushed to withdraw their funds, but there was nothing left. The money was gone. In days, FTX went from a $32 billion company to zero.
Bankman-Fried, arrested last night in the Bahamas, faces 8 criminal charges in the U.S. Authorities alleging he defrauded investors by funneling customers' money into his own hedge fund behind their backs. As a result, they say $8 billion have gone missing.
We heard from John J. Ray, this is the guy that's now the new CEO of FTX, revealing this stunning list of allegations against SBF.
This is the guy that oversaw the liquidation of Enron, and he's saying he's never seen anything like this.
Mr. Ray, you have compared FTX as worse than Enron.
Literally, there's no record keeping whatsoever. Employees would communicate, invoicing and expenses on Slack. They use QuickBooks, a multi-billion-dollar company using QuickBooks.
QuickBooks?
QuickBooks.
Sam was arrested in the Bahamas on December 12, 2022, just hours before he was scheduled to testify before Congress. He was charged with wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy, and more, 7 counts. Billions in damage, the kind of fraud that makes Bernie Madoff look like a small-time crook. His inner circle turned on him. Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda and Sam's on-again off-again girlfriend, pleaded guilty. She laid it all bare, the fake books, the hidden losses, the deception. At trial, prosecutors painted Sam as the architect of one of the largest financial frauds in U.S. history. His defense? He messed up. Didn't intend to commit fraud.
Increasingly in the crypto community, you're being known as a white knight. Anthony Scaramucci even told us he thinks of you as the JP Morgan of the industry. Obviously, there's a lot of turmoil going on right now.
I think this is less thinking about what do we need here, and this is more, identifying potential opportunities, if there are any, for us to grow, further and faster than we would by default.
This narrative.
SBF. Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
You run one of the biggest, certainly the fastest growing crypto exchanges.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the king of crypto.
He's the most important man in
Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas,
Is being held in jail.
Sam Bankman-Fried will be extradited to the U.S. 8 criminal charges.
Bankman-Fried and his co-conspirators stole billions of dollars from FTX customers.
Highly unlikely anyone would recover.
A Bahamas court will resume tomorrow, and he's expected to drop his fight against U.S. extradition.
I'm announcing that Samuel Bankman-Fried is now in FBI custody. He will be transported directly to the Southern District of New York, and he will appear in court.
Reported in Westchester, New York, just outside of New York City.
Meanwhile, 2 of Bankman-Fried's former deputies are pleading guilty to charges brought against them in connection with the crypto firm's collapse.
The Southern District of New York has filed charges against Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wong, a co-founder of FTX, and they are both cooperating with the Southern District of New York.
A trial date has been set for October 2nd.
By what happened this month, we messed up big.
The jury didn't buy it. Guilty. On all counts, billions are missing, and the crypto world will never be the same. From altruist to felon, from billionaire to inmate, this wasn't just a crypto crash, it was a betrayal, and the biggest con of the digital age. Sam Bankman-Fried, guilty on all counts, facing up to 110 years in prison. Sentencing scheduled for 2025. The damage, $8 to $10 billion, it didn't end in some dramatic shootout. There was no offshore escape, no last-ditch redemption, just a courtroom, 7 counts of fraud, and a very long fall from the top. The kid who promised to make billions so he could give it all away, was just another thief, dressed in virtue. Wrapped in jargon, and backed by people who should have known better. Now he's facing over 100 years in federal prison, and the people who trusted him, they're left with empty wallets. And broken promises. In the end, FTX wasn't hacked, it wasn't unlucky, it was looted. By the guy who ran it. This was the ledger, where empires fall, paper trails burn, and the truth doesn't flinch. If you got value from this breakdown, hit subscribe, smash that like button so this story gets seen, and if you want more tales from the underworld of money, power, and deception, you know what to do. We've got more lies to chase, more names to expose, and the books, they're never closed. You've been watching The Ledger, where lies have receipts, and justice always balances the books. Subscribe for more stories from the edge of finance and the underworld. We dig where others don't.